At this point in the Blue Box anime, we are in the same position we were in, like 7 episodes ago. Guy likes girl, girl likes guy. Girl needs a plant to determine how much she likes guy. Everyone refuses to be firm with their decisions. And we have a guy and a girl that refuse to confess. And a girl that likes liking. Who do you call when you need this story to advance faster? A douchebag. And our bringer of romantic mayhem, Moria Ayame! For this video, we're going to be covering Blue Box, episode 22, Hinota. While the biggest carrot in the story is Taiki's confession, I could probably make a strong argument that Ayame might end up being the most important character of the Blue Box story. And so, let's hop right into the recap. You know what time it is. It's Ayame time. And Ayame time means it's time for instigating love. Who wouldn't want to play Cupid if you had the power
to spread love?
Who does our main heroine really like? Ayame tries to get into someone else's business to play Cupid, but her older sister knows Ayame is just a big blabber. So Karen, not trying to snitch, uses misdirection, and misdirection we shall go, as she proceeds to tell her little sister that Chinatsu is into someone that is nothing like Taiki. Tall,
handsome,
and was abroad with foreigners, and yeah, he's actually a hooper. So basically, Japanese Steph Curry. Guys, this is like a roundabout thing that I think only girls do this. Karen could have just said nothing. After explaining to Ayame all about this tall, handsome hooper, we get introduced with exactly just that. Matsuoka Kazuma, a handsome D-bag. I mean, a handsome guy that has all the characteristics that girls typically are into. Like a tall, attractive, athletic hooper that can speak that ego. But
he ain't no Yusa.
Of course, with Ayame's misinformed intel, she gets the wrong idea and starts cheering for Chinatsu to get her handsome English-speaking hooper man. Taki pulls up trying to act all responsible, but finds out that the story is starting to turn for the worse, as your boy is getting closer to being NTR'd by this new guy. Oh look, it's the one-sided love interest, Hina. Taiki and Hina starts conversing over school-related matters, but Ayame is the ultimate plot device in a story where no one besides Hina can be upfront about their feelings. Ayame can relate and is here to save the day from the plot going stale. And she quickly notices that look. You girls know the look I'm talking about. It's a certain glow that girls give off like, I'm into that badminton smasher type of look. There's also that female competition that girls feel threatened by, like bigger oppas. Before the story becomes trash, Ayame is one brave soul that can easily speak with her mind and fingers, as both Hina and Ayame end up crossing paths by the trash can. They happily introduce each other with Ayame refreshingly being upfront about Hina liking Taiki, as she just simply asks her if she likes Hinota. Ayame assumes that Hina has a chance, but Hina quickly corrects her that it's pretty one-sided and that it is partially her fault for leaving the door open for Taiki to maybe one day fall for her. However, Hina is like a masochist that enjoys the suffering of liking someone that isn't reciprocating it back. So leave it to the violet blueberry-haired matchmaking instigator. This is what I like about Ayame creating this situation, because I feel like this is actually a pretty normal situation. Whether you're Ayame, Hina, Chinatsu, or even Matsuoka. For story purposes, I think we all want Taiki to confess to Chinatsu already and vice versa. But from Ayame's perspective, she is now kind of like semi-MC because everything is going to be through her perspective. Because being in her position, I feel like a lot of us look at certain romances that potentially are brewing and we think to ourselves, maybe we should do something about it, or maybe we should stay the hell out of it. And clearly, Ayame is going to be the person that tries to nudge the situation in a way that she thinks is beneficial for the characters. In between Ayame and Hina, this is going to be one of those relationships that will really grow on you.
Hinota.
Chinatsu is out here playing games. Ain't nobody trying to hear a nickname given by a chick that spells nothing but trouble. As if Taiki couldn't miss any more signals that Chinatsu tries to send, Taiki brings up that Chinatsu wouldn't like being called
Chi-chan.
But in fact, she'd be down for him. Just call her Chinatsu. Both Taiki and Chinatsu are just playing stupid games at this point, where one tries to lead you on, but our MC still has yet to learn how to smash when it comes to romance. Maybe Taiki just needs more balls in his mouth. And what is that again? A plant to symbolize how much Chinatsu likes Taiki? I'm sorry, is that plant supposed to grow to a certain point where she realizes something? Guys, I really don't know why I hate this plant so much. There's a big trip coming for fall training camp. That's gonna end up being like a big sleepover party with the badminton team, the basketball team, and the rhythmic gymnastic team. This is the perfect set up for Ayame to work her magic of matchmaking hell. I mean heaven.
Makase.
And Ayame skips her way to lead us astray. That boy Matsuoka is looking like the man of Chinatsu's dreams, and Taiki would be a turtle jerkwad to not go out with a baddie like Hina. Nothing can go absolutely wrong at all. Taiki is out here smashing it on the badminton courts, and Ayame is starting to realize she needs to put some respect on your boy's game. So she asks Nishida if Hinota is even that good, and Captain Nishida tells her what's up like Taiki. Beat Yusa! Enough said. This is like a low-key scene that people won't catch unless you already read the manga. This is one of the first times where Ayame had to self-reflect. That maybe the way she sees things and how she applies her own logic might not be for everyone. This is very important for her character. That is honestly still going on in the manga right now.
Now, go get us some more shuttlecocks.
Like you know how to best. Taiki is realizing that his endurance and skills have steadily been improving. After the match against Yusa, the story doesn't really need to tell us where his shonen arc is going. What's more odd this time around is how Haruyu has been treating Taiki, as he hasn't been giving him practice matches lately. Remember that Haruyu took the L against Yusa after Taiki beat him. This sets up Haryu's character to go in many different directions. Is he mad? Is Taiki his competition now that he doesn't want to give any more edge to? Who knows exactly just yet. But this sets up our favorite Taiki senpai to go through his own little character arc. Ayame comes up to boss Taiki around again to get more shuttlecocks with her because of how much he likes balls in his mouth. As a cute pig-headed violet colored haired girl swoops him away. And while Taiki walks off, what a cute girl. Taiki's admirers, female competition, spidey senses go off. And here is the start of NTR. Matsuoka pulls out the Natsu, coming in to try to flirt with our boy's future girl. I really can't stand these kinds of characters. As Ayame and Taiki goes to get the shuttlecocks, Ayame runs into a couple of her exes, teasing her about staying as the badminton manager, that she isn't the commitment type. Although they are her exes, they all stayed on mutually good terms. This is where Ayame continues her controversial takes on romance. To get the entire Blue Box fanbase to throw basketballs and shuttlecocks at each other, young Moria tells Taiki that it's actually quite efficient to give guys a chance that already like you, rather than the reverse. If she doesn't end up liking them over time, dust yourself off.
And try again.
And to save her from that dreaded hoe tag, she only goes out with guys that are in the realm of her type. I mean, it's not like she's gonna date a guy like the four-eyed bestie. From Ayame's perspective, she feels grateful that guys like her. Guys, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I'm going to end up being an Ayame defender for like the rest of the series. She's an archetype of girl that we all know, that I mentioned in the previous video too. She can be faithful and settle down. She just hasn't met the right guy yet. But her archetype leads us to believe, at least this early on, where she goes like on that OnlyFans route, where she purposely uses her openness to prey on simps and smash every shuttlecock around just to discard them. There are two different paths for an archetype like Ayame, and that is where a lot of the controversy with her character lies. Besides trying to play matchmaker, there are other parts of her personality and other decisions that she ends up making that end up being very, very important to the Blue Box story. I guess I'm an Ayame defender. She is the one character that continues to make the Blue Box story interesting. Ayame pulls the
You never know until you try card.
but I'm over here saying to myself that I don't need to try. to know. Taiki makes a huge mistake by telling Ayame that it's true that when someone confesses to someone, it definitely makes you think about them more. But this isn't the kind of face that has romance on his mind when it comes to Hina. But young Moria misinterprets this like the worst kind of Cupid that shoots blanks for arrows. And here we have a foreshadowing of a spin the bottle type of scenario. It's a classic trope teased like during camp trips with legends and fairy tales. If two people ask each other out in front of a bonfire, then fire from the blazing depths of their love will surface to bring these two together. And so at training camp, here we are, all three sports teams on a 3 days, 2 nights trip of working their asses off begins, which means 3 days and 2 nights of Ayame working her magic. The badminton team is getting the boot camp of a lifetime, and while Taiki and the boys are running and sweating buckets, Taiki gets a taste of his own medicine. When Hina and Chinatsu is forced to see Taiki always running off with a cute girl, now it's his turn to feel that male competition with someone taller, handsomer, and athleticer than he is, running and laughing with his Chinatsu senpai that he won't just confess to already. Even though fans may judge young Moria for her philosophy on romance, she still seems to be the hard-working type, making sure the badminton boys are working hard and taken care of when it's time to rest up. With the Haru loss still looming at the back of our minds, he still refuses to help Taiki with his badminton. Taiki still recognizes him as the best player on the team, but they are technically competition. This can turn out to be a very interesting subplot, as the senpai that has helped out his kohai this entire time to help bring him to where he is. Now, he's starting to feel a different kind of way. It's that time of the night to start resting up, but before they do, it's time to get all the guys and girls together that we care about in the story to conveniently come together to play a game. The King's Card Game. It's quite the simple game. Draw a card, draw another one, and say as it do. Kyo is forced to speak like a cat, but with this super serious, voracious blunt swag. It's Chinatsu's turn to pull a card, and we want her to end up doing something naughty to Taiki, while Taiki is cheering for but it ends up being more comedic relief. It seems to be a trend with Chinatsu getting messed up hairdos. Everyone busts out in laughter, but we know where it all goes south. Taiki draws the sword card, meaning the next king's card drawn will force him to say as it do, and Ayame rigged it. So if he pulls a card, that makes him stare into Hina's eyes for 7 seconds. But we all know that Ayame is a terrible cupid, and that simply leads to Nishida shuffling the king's card, bringing out an even better card. And what card did Taiki pull? And must say as he do, he must tell everyone who he loves. So we are still at the point in the story where Taiki's confession still matters the most, and there's just no way it's gonna happen so anticlimactically right here. It's gonna be the biggest carrot that's waved in front of our faces that basically happened since the Blue Box story started. And so that's why Ayame is here, to provide another layer of foolery that romance can bring. The previous episode introduced Ayame's character to show her stances on how to handle romance, on how that clashes with someone reserved like Chinatsu. So you have a person that's open to date anyone if she still finds you somewhat attractive, and you have Chinatsu, who is someone that is very much reserved and wants to make sure that her feelings are concrete. Like, she needs this plant to grow in an entire jungle before she realizes that she likes Taiki. You know what? This is one of the characteristics about her character that I think some people might find annoying, and probably why people might be cheering for Hina, as Hina knows who she likes and already confessed. At the beginning of this episode, it showed right away that Ayame is going to be the plot device because our main characters want to keep playing. She is the love instigator that wants to play matchmaker. And this is where people might end up disliking her character even more, because she's putting her nose into something that is really none of her business. You have a story that's clearly going towards this climactic moment. It's a very obvious moment where Taiki probably has to confess to Chinatsu and also let down Hina. So for the story to all of a sudden introduce this new character to make things a lot more worse than it needs to be. And screw this guy, MATCHMAKER. So these two characters, quite simply, are there to piss us off, to essentially stir the plot up, as we were honestly going on this boring linear path until a curved shuttlecock is smashed right into the plot. That sounds so dirty. And then you add in the fact that their early perceptions of Ayame is a person meant for the streets. This is where her character works in a way where we kind of have to respect her perspective. What works for her might not work for everyone else. And if she's dating people and it ends without no one hating each other, who are we to judge her? But that is her problem. Right now, she is kind of forcing her ideals onto the other characters. This part of the arc is a really big learning lesson from Ayame's point of view. Certain lessons in this story can't be taught without her in it. And there's gonna be many more to come. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode of Blue Box. And do me a favor guys, hit the like button if you enjoyed Ayame's mayhem. And subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.